Honorable speakers and member of parliaments, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace be upon us all. It is an honor to be here with you today for this important discussion on gender equality and gender-sensitive parliaments as drivers of change for a more resilient and peaceful world. For the past few years, we have heard strong commitments and a renewed sense of urgency for gender equality in the implementation of the Agenda 2030. Gender equality cannot just be the business of women, and it should not be. Multi-stakeholder efforts to strengthen gender equality are critical, with parliaments at the forefront and center leading the way. Not only to ensure the achievement of the Goal 5 of the SDGs on achieving gender equality and empower all women and girls, but also to develop meaningful, effective, and inclusive solutions to the global recovery process. Distinguished delegates, today our world is confronted by multiple crises. Pandemic has hard hit the world indiscriminately. The impact of climate change has become new normal in many countries. War and conflicts have created global disorder which disrupted energy, food security, and put women in a very difficult situation. Economic hardship has taken place in developing and low-income countries. We must stand together to ensure that all women, regardless of their backgrounds, nationalities, religions, and ethnics, are treated with dignity and human rights, because it is indeed a fundamental element of democracy. However, it is unfortunate that some women are still facing violence and discrimination today. Yesterday, I visited Kigali Genocide Memorial, a place for remembrance which witnessed the horror of the conflicts in 1994. May their soul rest in peace. This tragedy has taught us that conflicts could happen anywhere. In many parts of the world, wars and conflicts are the proofs of the failure of international community to respond to the challenges and to assure the inclusive peace for all. Today, we are saddened by the facts that many women, girls, and children suffer from the impact of the war in Ukraine. But what about the women, girls, and children in Syria, in Palestine, in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Yemen, and hundreds of thousands of women of the Rohingya? They were tortured and treated with no dignity and have been stranded for years in the refugee camps in Cox's Bazar. There is no word peace unless every woman, mothers, and girls in Ukraine, Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, Yemen, Rohingya, and everywhere enjoy peace where they can live and their rights are respected, and where they are treated with dignity and equally with justice. We should not practice both double standards and hypocrisies in our commitment to ensure respect for human rights for everyone. There is a famous proverb: if we are pointing one finger to other and accuse them wrong, it means that the four remaining fingers are pointing ourselves for the things we did. Therefore, let us be united to speak for the truth, to speak with no bias. Because indeed, there would never be peace without equal respect for human rights to everyone at the first place. Distinguished delegates, diversity is blessing from God. It depends on us whether we choose to unite or let others divide us. Indonesia, a home for more than 300 ethnic groups who speak more than 700 languages living in 37 provinces, consistently upholds the principle of peace and harmony in diversity. In this opportunity, I would like to reaffirm that the House of Representatives of the Republic of Indonesia is strongly committed to mainstreaming gender in development in all fields, both at the national, regional, and global levels. Indonesia's diplomacy in promoting gender equality at the global level focuses on increasing the role of women, and this is reflected, among others, in our support as the main co-sponsor of the UN General Assembly resolution on International Day of Women in Diplomacy, initiating UN Security Council Resolution number 2538 regarding female personnel in UN peacekeeping missions, contributing to women's empowerment program in Palestine and Afghanistan through business literacy and entrepreneurship programs. Besides, Indonesia has also ratified Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, Beijing Declaration, and Platform for Action and SDGs Target. In addition to that, the House of Representatives of the Republic of Indonesia has enacted laws which guarantee the 30% of women representation in political parties, election management institutions, and in the legislative. In 2019-2024 period today, we have 123 women members of parliaments, with accounts 21.39% of women. We are optimistic that this progress will increase as we strengthen our global efforts to advance gender equality and to ensure women representation in all decision-making process. Distinguished delegates, last week we successfully held the 8th G20 Parliamentary Speakers Summit, which focuses on 4 priority issues. One of them is social inclusion, gender equality, and women's empowerment, which address the discussions on the initiative that could be taken by Parliament to support gender-sensitive parliaments and to advance equal participation of women in all aspects of parliamentary work. As parliamentary leaders, we pledge to set a good example and ensure that our respective parliaments are gender-sensitive institutions. Parliaments representing the collective voice of people are the cornerstone of democracy, which have all potentials to build a more resilient and peaceful world for all. We are ready to contribute our part to ensure that the progress we have achieved in recent decades in advancing gender equality brings significant impacts to the gender parity in the world, and more importantly, to ensure that every woman in the world, regardless of their backgrounds, are treated with dignity, justice, and free from fear, coercion, violence, and discrimination. Let us strengthen our commitment and efforts to ensure the respect of the right of women to equal opportunities and a dignified life, because every woman matters. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable.